Hey, welcome. We are Beyond the Poll. I'm Katrina Lee. We are waiting for some of our other co-hosts to come in, but I'm on time and organized as usual. No, I'm kidding. Everything has been really crazy this week. A lot of good things and some really tragic things. So this is gonna be an interesting show. We are in year two. We celebrated our 2 year anniversary after the first of the year. I'm excited. We get getting bigger and better, and a lot of like just amazing things have been occurring. So this is a really big weekend upcoming Friday and Saturday for the adult industry. We have Katie Morgan, who's a huge porn star, along with Evan Stone, and they're going to be at New York Showgirls. And you can meet them also at the Video Liquidators. So I'm going to be at New York Showgirls on Friday night, the late night show, and doing some recording with Katie Morgan. I met her years ago at Mademoiselle. I posted the pictures on last week of me with Katie, and she's a blast. She's a good time. She's really funny. She's a sweetheart. I'm curious to see how she looks now because they're using the same pictures that she used 10 years ago, and I'm sure she aged because she was kind of the party animal. But we shall see. And then Trinity Turner, who has been on our show multiple times. She's a centerfold feature, and she works at Dakota Sky. Is going to be at Candy's Adult Playground, and that is in Erie, Pennsylvania, Waterford. You go about 10 miles down past the casino, and she's a great time. So, I mean, two people I would have head down there, but it's kind of Katie Morgan's who I want to see, and I got to work this weekend. And I'm going to Tampa. Actually, I'm going to be leaving on the 26th, so I'm going to do next week's show. I'll be doing it here in the studio, and then the week after, I will be doing it in Tampa, probably inside Deja Vu or possibly Scores. I'm not sure, one or the other. Depends on where me and my girlfriends want to work. So that's gonna be a good time. Lots and lots of stuff going on. I'm excited, super excited. I worked at Playmates last night, and I set up one of the first centers of positive awareness. So what that is my thing I started. And there are bulletin boards that we're putting in all the strip clubs. We're going to do it in Rochester and expand it. And what we put is things that help women, like domestic abuse, STD testing, mammograms, GED programs, programs for getting counseling. And we don't force anything down people's throats, but it's there. So if you want help, it's there. Girls can tack up things that they feel will help, maybe even on babysitting, anything really. So it's there. It's going to be in all the clubs. I actually called and I got approved by every single club in Rochester. So they'll all be up within the next 2 weeks. So I'm super excited. And Playmates is the first one went up. I started this years ago at Pharaoh's, but my ex, who was very abusive, ripped it down on me and threw it out because everything I tried to do, he had to devalue. But it was something that I talked about for years when I went to Global Gender Studies at University at Buffalo. Actually, when I was going at University at Buffalo, it was Women's Studies, but they changed the title because then it concluded not concluded, on transgender studies, homosexuality, and they kind of combined a lot of the smaller programs into one. So global gender studies, but I studied a lot on gender violence. So domestic abuse as a survivor is a really important thing in my life, and I like helping women. So I created a website, and I have a Facebook page on the internet, and it's Cats, Kats, Meow, Meow, Cares, Kares. And what it does is all different positive notes or information on narcissistic, psychopathic, and sociopath abuse. And then on boundaries and bettering yourself. And like the page, a lot of women are abused and they don't know what to do or how to go about it. So a girl that I know this week, it's really kind of shattering and shaking to a lot of people out there in Western New York, is actually in Hamburg, was in a murder suicide. Danielle Morse. It's really tragic, and a lot of my friends are close friends with her and worked with her. I have worked with her also, but I wasn't super close. But she was murdered and by her abusive boyfriend, and then he committed suicide with a shotgun. And clearly there were problems that started developing as red flags. Because she was posting on Facebook, like, I need to get out of this house, I need help. And he changed his profile picture to him holding a gun. And it's never too late to get help. There's a lot of people out there. So I posted information in the Western New York area about the Family Justice Center, and it's on my Facebook page. My Facebook is Katrina, Katrinalee, and I have another one that's more rehab studies. It's clean. It doesn't have perverted pictures and stuff like that on it, and memes, because I kind of have a weird sense of humor. But that one is Katrina Lee, Leelee. So you can see the info there. But I sat today calling a bunch of agencies because I never felt more motivated since seeing this, and everyone's all on board. So a lot of drug abuse and domestic abuse relationships kind of go hand in hand, and a lot of women in the strip clubs are struggling with this and don't know how to go about it, or they're afraid, or they're staying in these relationships because of finances, because they don't want to dance, they don't know what to do, they don't want to move out, they don't have kids or some situation, and you have to leave because you can't wait until it's too late. You just can't. It's tragic. She has kids. She was murdered. I mean, everyone is like, it's just horrible. Like, just really sad. And R.I.P. Danielle. And don't worry, like, there are a lot of people out there who care for you and about you and the whole situation. And at least, like, it's going to be used to help other women as an example on how to get help. So I talked to Willow today, which is similar to the Family Justice Center, and they're in Rochester. And what we are doing there is they're sending me a bunch of pamphlets and brochures, also like Family Justice Center did, and we're going to add them on to the Center of Positive Awareness. And I'm also working with Gates Recovery, the new owners, Randy Semino, and the Gates Chief of Police, and we're going to be putting them up there, and just along with info on Narcan training and everything. So it's just kind of win-win. I feel very successful and proud of how it worked out today. So I'm super, super, super excited because I'm working on this for a while. But I have so many projects and things going on. Like, some stuff ends up going a little bit in the back burner, which, can happen. I totally understand. But I'm a busy person. I am very much so looking forward to going to Tampa. I really need a vacation and a little break. And it's a girls' trip. We're going to dance a little bit, but we're going to go out and have fun, and we're going to go to like some of the cool beach clubs, and I plan to just relax by the water and enjoy myself and just have a good time. And it's always better when you have friends with you, because then you're not alone. You don't have to worry about strangers. So it's a very specific group of girls. I told them the rules, like no bringing random guys to the hotel room, no abandoning everyone. We all have each other's backs. I wanted girls who didn't start fights with other dancers, so I didn't have to worry about getting kicked out or looking bad with one of them. So it should be a good time. I'm sure there'll be some shenanigans that we will definitely have on the radio, and I'm going to get a whole bunch of shout outs. So I was informed too last week that we are one of the #1 shows and listened to in the Monroe County jails, along with Albion and everyone out there. So I'd like to give a nice shout out. And we have some clips and stuff going on later, not too far away in the show, around 10:30. But we're going to start a program which we're working on how to go about it exactly, of the inmate of the week. And we'll have shout outs, and then somehow maybe you write a letter, you're going to send an email, and you can say something to whoever, and we'll play it on the radio, or you can even do like a call in, and we could do the pre-record the call in also. So and you can have your girlfriends call in and leave you messages too, especially if they're dancers in the clubs. For some reason, a lot of dancers are dating inmates too. Been there, done that. It's kind of exciting. But we're going to cut into a song break, and then we're going to come back with Dawn with the Toy of the Week. WRFC LP Rochester 106.3 Rochester Free Radio. We're Beyond the Pole and on every week.
I'm from Playmates. I just want to say happy 2nd anniversary to Katrina with Beyond the Pole. You're doing great, Mama.
Welcome back. We're Beyond the Pole. It's Katrina Lee, and we have Dawn on the phone from Foreplay Buzz, and she's going to be starting to go live on Fridays. Going to be adding on the page, so check out our Facebook page. We are Beyond the Pole Live, and we also have our old one, which Oz recovered, is Beyond the Pole Radio. I've been kind of posting the same thing, but ultimately it's going to convert more to the new one because I have it set up a little better, and we're getting more like the actual current listeners. The other one had people who just kind of in the beginning were part of the other radio show group from Two Guys and a Girl. But here is Dawn to tell us about the Toy of the Week.
Hi guys. I can't wait to do a radio show or, go live on Facebook in Katrina's group. We're going to talk about sex every week. We're going to go through different topics, things that people really want to know about, but the information out there is so distorted. It's not like a real person talking about it. So we're going to just touch upon every topic you could think of, from threesomes to orgy to anal to prostate massage. Just things that you're afraid to ask your friends about. I'll be out there and you can ask me anything. And I think we need to open up our communication. The United States is so far behind in our sexual openness compared to Europe. It's kind of scary. It's weird. Like, how are we so uptight? It's 2019. Let's talk about it. I mean, you can't even say masturbation in public or on Facebook without being reported, you know?
I mean, people are even have issues just with breastfeeding alone in public is such a big deal. I mean, we're not even at the point of accepting sex yet.
I agree with you 100%. It's so uptight here. Like, people will leave restaurants if they see a woman breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Really? Where would you like her to feed her child?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you Neanderthals know this, but that's what boobs are for, right?
Right? No, I thought they were at strip clubs for, like, old men to, like, suck on them. No.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, exactly.
You're like, oh.
I mean, you're feeding a baby. Let me go take her in the, in the bathroom, which 1,000 people used, and the germs, and it's just mind-boggling that the United States has so many issues with such open topics that should be completely open at this point in time, but still are not. So I'd like to just bring it to you with no judgment and just really bring it home. But this week we are doing, well, actually all month until Valentine's Day, we're doing a special. You get $325 worth of toys, and it's really an array. It has, I think, 3 or 4 different toys in the kit, lotions and potions and heating lubricants, and just a lot of fun stuff. For Valentine's Day, it's only $99, and this is my way of getting you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
I think that, did you know Americans on average only use 2 positions if they've been together for more than 5 years?
I believe that, but then it makes it so boring.
Yes. I think it's because we're lazy, number one. I mean, it's not like we're going to do aerobics on it. And when you have children in the mix and you've been married a long time, you kind of just assume the position. You know what works. If you know that C and R work, you're not going to try the rest of the letters. You're not really going to work anything into the relationship. So that's just mind-blowing that we use 2 positions. I'm kind of embarrassed by that fact. So this kit will just kind of make you open your mind, because if you are relaxed, you're going to have more orgasms. And the benefit of orgasms are just, they go on and on, from headaches to pain relief to helping you look younger, better skin, better sex drive. So we're going to go through, this whole kit with you, and it's only, you're getting it for $100. I mean, what else? You're getting $325 worth of toys for $100, and that's my Valentine's gift to everyone out there. And my website is the number 4, PLAYBUZZ.com. And when we hang up, I will post to Katrina's group. I just wasn't sure which Facebook to follow, but now I know. And I love you, and I can't wait to come back out. Are you going to be in Florida during the radio show or not?
I should be, not next week. I'll be here, but the week after. So we're leaving. We're leaving Saturday, and I want to stay and actually do my show out there. And I don't really have a timeline, so the plane tickets are cheaper. For some reason, if you leave on Thursday, they're more expensive, so it's cheaper if you leave Friday. So I want to get out there. I want to enjoy. We're actually going to Shepherd's and a couple places, but they have like this killer bar, VIP set up, and it's like insane with DJs. So I like want to go have fun when we first get there. And on Saturday, it's a Gasparilla Pirate Festival, and I know a lot of people are going, so we're all going to dress up like pirates and then just, have a good time. So instead of going right to work on a Saturday, which would be the better money night, I'd rather, so we're going to go on a Monday, Tuesday, so it's still going to be slow, so I want to, hit up a couple days and get all the girls I could interview. But we'll see.
Awesome.
It could turn into a
you.
shit show with the guests. I mean, you never know what's going to happen when you're bringing rowdy girls who haven't been out in a long time and they're all excited about drinking and everything. So hopefully it works out and it's not chaos.
I'd go with you, but we'd be arrested.
That's what I feel. I feel like it's something crazy is going to happen. So I always leave backup money anyways at home. I always have in the bank emergency $1,500 for bail because you never know. So I told my mom that. She's like, Katrina, can you just grow up? And she's like, you're too old for this. I'm like, Mom, I'm 21. And I'm not, actually. I was just joking with her. She's like, stop it right now. I'm like, reliving my youth I didn't have. I was like this quiet nerd, and I was married at a young age, and all I did was work all the time, and I didn't go out at all. And if I went out, I was at the clubs making money, so it wasn't really going out. I was still working.
But people think our jobs are so fun that we don't really work, because I get the same thing with my business. Like, oh, she's not really working. It's toys. She's laughing.
Yeah.
She's in parties. Are you kidding me? Like, this is not my party. Like, I go to other people's parties.
Yeah, that's the same way I feel. I'm like at a strip club. Yeah, you're having fun, you're drinking, but you're like humping random strangers and stuff, and it's not like fun. And these aren't guys you necessarily want to date. So you have to go out every once in a while. And I'm gonna go out with Roxy Love, who was on the show. We're going out Saturday, so that's gonna be a fun time. It always is with her. She's pretty crazy. So.
Oh, I'm off Saturday too. Where are you guys going?
She's actually in Rochester, so we're not sure because of the storm. So if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna be out. If it doesn't happen, I'm gonna just stay out in East Aurora. So I'm not sure what's gonna occur with the weather. They keep saying this big storm.
If the weather doesn't happen Saturday night, let me know. Maybe we'll meet up and go down somewhere on Main Street and get in trouble.
I know, right? I know everyone at like Walla Wines, the Barbell.
It's so much fun down there. I love it.
Riley's.
All right, guys. My website
Thank you. Have a nice night.
PLALive.com. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. All right. Bye, Dawn. So I'm excited. I'm going to have a great week. Actually, I started having a great week. The only sad part was the girl who passed away, but it just motivated me and encouraged me to get a lot done. I'm just trying to have fun. Like, I'm single. I'm enjoying life. I get to do me for once. There's no one in the background. I have no stressors because I was in this lingering situation that went on a long time, and there's no real benefit in it, and it was just occupying my time. So now I'm like on the dating scene. So it's really confusing and hard to go about it. I don't know if I necessarily even want a relationship. I just want to have fun. Like, I mean, who doesn't want to be loved and like want someone who's going to like say good morning and stuff like that every night? But I want the right person, and I'm not settling this time. So the thing is that I know what I don't want, but I don't know exactly what I want because everyone I dated was so different. There's no like specific type. It's not like they're all tall. It's not like everyone's blonde or anything. I mean, it's not even like they all had two legs, really. Like, I go for unique differences, but lots going on. So I've been going out to different dinners and everything, and I thought I'd try that whole online dating. Cindy, who was helping with our show, told me to try it, and so I'm like, oh, I'll sign up on Bumble. And then because women get to like target and like talk to guys first, and that wasn't really ideal because I'm so recognizable. I was just getting guys, and they're like inbox me on Facebook, like I saw you on there. And then I went out with one guy that I thought seemed cool, and then he was totally like catfished me. Like he was ridiculous. Didn't look anything like it's supposed to be. I didn't even stay. It's like, no, this isn't going to work. Gary lied off the bat. So I left, and then I bought myself dinner instead. It was great. I sat at the bar, and we were laughing about it with the bartender, and then I went to work at Playmates. So it's great. But on the other hand, I kind of like working and making money and buying myself nice gifts and enjoying my time. So I'm not sure what direction it's in. It's not a rush. I think it's just the whole fact Valentine's Day is coming up. But I mean, I could just have this whole like 10 boyfriends or different guys instead for Valentine's instead of one significant other if it doesn't occur. No rush. No rush at all. Yeah, it's coming up to Valentine's, so it's the perfect time, like Dawn said, to buy the toy kit. This is when I do better with the lingerie sales. A lot of girls I know and photographers are busy because they're taking like the Valentine's Day photo boudoir set that, you know, kind of everyone has to do. It's, you know, kind of typical stripper stuff, but we are going to have a shout out from my friend whose man is actually in the Monroe County Jail right now, and she works at Tally, and I work at Tally. I'm going to be at Tally Ho tomorrow. I'm going to be there from 2 o'clock until like, I don't know, 7 o'clock for sure. I'm going to be there Saturday, depending on what happens with this storm. And I'm going to be there Sunday night after I film for the Cigar Club. So lots of fun going on, making extra money for Florida in case it turns into like literally a shit show. I have a backup plan, and then I have my own money. I can just leave and go home or whatever, or stay and just they can all go. We'll see, but we're going to play our shout out, and then we're going to turn to a song break. But we are WRFCLP Rochester, RochesterFreeRadio.com. Actually, we're going to do the songs first, and then we'll play the shout out because the phone was being used for Dawn, and we forgot that. So.
Hi everyone, this is Gia. I wanted to make a shout out to the Monroe County Jail, to my daughter's dad, Tyler Canale. I wanted to tell you that I love you so much and I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And I can't wait till we finally start our life together. But on side note, I miss your amazing, exciting, throbbing, pounding, exotic, cock-a-doodle-doo.
That's great. I loved her. I have so much fun with her. The cock-a-doodle-doo is so great. I'm like, you got to watch how you word certain stuff. So I'm sure he appreciated hearing that shout out. So thank you to all our listeners in the Monroe County Jail. We're glad you love us. We're going to have different shout outs every week. I'm not sure exactly what to do because I didn't know because I got to put my name on it and if it was something mailed with the P.O. box. And then I got to make sure like no one shows up looking for me as a stalker, not even saying just as an inmate. It could be anything. So I'm thinking emails because I know the inmates can actually send emails through the prison because I was in the Erie County Holding Center. So I know that for a fact that we were able to do that. So it should be easy, actually. So we'll have an email for sure next week, or we'll have the P.O. box. I don't know what direction, but I want to get going on this because there's a station in Erie, Pennsylvania at the ECP, it's the Erie County Penitentiary down there, and they had all the girls and guys would write these letters and mail it in, and then the station would play it, and then it held different, like, it'd be like, hey, out in cell block D, and it'd be like guys saying this girl is hot and stuff, because they were combined with the men, and we'd walk by, and they'd go to church and different stuff, and so they'd all see the girls, and I'll be like waving, and the guys would go over into the women's cell block and they would do like all the cleaning and the chores, so the girls would get a kick out of it and be like, oh yeah, he's so sexy, it's great. And I want to do different topics because I never been in the Monroe County Jail. I hope I never am either. I mean, it's, I'm not going to say I never will because sometimes I'm unlucky and I take stupid risks. But we want to see like what your favorite meal is and your favorite shout outs you could do to COs and all different stuff. So I was in the show Escape from Dannemora, and it was about the prison outbreak, and I filmed it about 2 years ago up in Plattsburgh, New York, and it was on Showtime. They ended it. It's a great series. I guess it's now on Netflix and Amazon Prime, so you can watch it. There's 7 parts of it, and it's really good, and I talked to a couple of COs, and they said some of it wasn't exactly realistic to what occurred, but it was. You can't see me in it because I was an extra. I was a reporter and in the background, and they only had like the main characters that were visible. They kind of blurred out the rest, so they focused on it so you could see it. So there's 2 parts where I actually see myself and I could point out, but I'm literally like a blob jumping up and down in the background. So, I mean, I can't really say that's my face. So far, it takes a while. I've done a lot of movies and TV shows, and I'm doing more this week. It takes like almost 2 years to come out. The Purge was pretty quick, but I was in The Purge, and I was Marissa Tomei's stand-in, and I did everything she did like 100 times before she did it, so they could practice the lighting and make it smooth for her. So you don't see me in it at all, and I'm the one who twirls around when they shoot and falls down on the ground, and that's me, but you can't see my face. And then you couldn't see me in this one, so it's kind of a letdown, but for a couple of them coming out a clean picture, and when you're going to definitely see me, the Lifetime movie, you're definitely going to see me. That's called Scared Straight. I'm in the Cigar Club, and we're going to be filming it at Playmates in Byron this week. They're looking for extras. So if you go to the Buffalo Film Group and you have that like Italian mafia look, you could get hired. So you can Facebook them and send a message, or you can email them, and they're still looking, and I'm the one organizing it, setting up the girls for it. Now, we have a bunch of dancers from Playmates who are going to be in it for a strip club scene. It's going to be like an Italian speakeasy. It's not nude. You don't have to worry about it. And you don't have to have speaking lines for these dancers. So if you're an entertainer and you want to start getting into movies and TV, this is a good route to go. The person who's filming it and in charge, the director, is Kingdom Crump, Kingdom Crump, Krump, on Facebook. And he was in the Lifetime movie with me. He's done a bunch of them. He was also in The Purge, and he does a lot of things. So once you get with the right people, we have a community where we work together because a lot of us look different, so we're not all competing, and we all help each other. Like, hey, here's a role, and you can get your foot in the door and then start getting more paid roles, and who knows, like maybe you can be really successful at this. I never thought I would be where I'm at. Like literally 2 years ago, I started my divorce. I was 2.5 years ago, and I was in a horrifically abusive marriage. That was a nightmare, and I wasn't allowed to do anything. And I was getting beaten every day, belittled, ran down the ground, intense cheating, like everything awful. Like I couldn't work. He wouldn't let me do anything. He'd go through my phone, accuse me of all this stuff. I was drinking myself stupid because I just couldn't handle it. I didn't know what to do. So then when I tried getting help, he would sit there and do really abusive stuff. Like the worst thing that really occurred to me that's really hard to to get over still to this day is he sat there saying I had to go to rehab to save my family, but he was the reason I was drinking because it was so abusive and it was different. Like, I wasn't drinking to have fun. I was drinking not to feel. And I ended up going to Bradford, Pennsylvania. They have a hospital and it's got a dual diagnosis unit. And you stay for 21 days. And I picked that one because it was the shortest instead of 28 days. And he was cheating on me the whole time. And my insurance and everyone said that I didn't need to be there to that level and I could have been fine an outpatient because I wasn't addicted to any drugs. And I wasn't drinking and I was doing fine in there. So my insurance is Blue Cross Blue Shield, didn't want to cover it. So he knew I was going to be coming home. So I told him and he was supposed to pick me up. And he knew he had to be there. And I could have had my mom or anyone else could have came and picked me up. So that day I'm like waiting for him. I keep calling him. He's like, oh, I'm on my way. I'll be there in an hour. I'm leaving now. And he's just like jerking me around. Then he's saying he's waiting for his friend, Aaron, who is supposed to get me, and just keeps toying and toying. And then I realized he was high on cocaine. So I end up finally, because the area is weird, having to get a cab that came from further and then driving back up to Buffalo. It was a $400 cab ride that any of my friends had been, I had my cell phone or anything, which I didn't, could have easily picked me up for free or even $200. Anyone, even if I had to pay them, because $400 is a lot. And they didn't have Uber at that time in New York State. So I get home and I go back to our apartment where we were living at the time, and it was literally a cocaine fest. There's alcohol all over the place. The sheets were ripped off the bed. There was porn on all the TV screens, and there was blood on the walls. So I guess he was having sex with someone who had their period, which is even more disgusting that was going on, and probably multiple girls because that's the way he rolled. But I was literally rejected like a piece of trash outside of a rehab facility waiting for someone, and like that really breaks your heart. It makes you not want to get help and treatment. So after doing well, not drinking, and being motivated, I came home that day and I literally started drinking, and it was just like a joke. It was like, thanks for being supportive. So the thing is I help a lot of people in problems, but they go a lot hand in hand. Like a lot of alcoholics and addicts that I know are struggling because of their relationships. It might not even be just with your parents. It could be, with a boyfriend, it could be with your parents. It could be anything. Like, just toxic relationships are bad for you, and you need to get out of them and take care of yourself because it destroys you on all aspects. It was just really broke my heart, and he would over and over try to get me in trouble and say I had to save the family and just wanted a break so he could do whatever he wanted or justify it, or he'd blame it all on me somehow, this or that, and then run off. And there was even, when I came back to that night, it was so crazy, there was some other girls like adult toys that he threw in my bag, and it was like this vibrating elephant. I'll never forget, because I'm like, it's not my sex toy, it's not mine. He's like, yes it is. I'm like, I know what I have sex with, it's not my toy. And he kept insisting it wasn't. It wasn't even a line, because I have an adult store and I had one inside the strip club that was on Arrow Drive, and it used to be the Cats Meow and Pharaohs, and it was there. And he's like, no. I'm like, I don't even carry Doc Johnson. I'm like, I don't even have this toy. It's like not even one of the companies I carry. He kept insisting, and I remember just taking it and throwing it at him because it was like a bullet thing attached and like hitting him with it. I was just so upset. And I'm just so glad to be away from him because my life is so much better. And a lot of women stay in these aggressive, domestically abusive relationships because they're scared and they don't know how to get out. And that's what happened probably to Danielle. It looked like she was having problems. She was even with this guy for a whole year, according to the newspaper. They moved in about 3 months ago, and it ended up in a murder-suicide. And it's just so terrifying. And she was literally screaming for help. It was on the internet. And I don't know what she thought, like someone was going to help her through Facebook. But if you're having serious problems, don't put it on Facebook. Call someone and get real help, or inbox someone. There's real places, like you could literally go and like Google domestic abuse hotline, and they'll help you. And there's Haven House in Buffalo. They'll drive and they'll pick you up and they'll take you to a safe location that no one knows where you are, and they won't say anything about you are. They do the same in Rochester, all over. There's women like myself, and I do stuff like that and volunteer, and because we're survivors and we don't want to watch other people get hurt, and we know how low and down out we were, and we'll get you clothes, we'll get you hygiene products, we'll do all different stuff. my company collects donations of hygiene products, and we call it Not Just a Pretty Face, a campaign. And it was for different things to help women initially get started in domestically abusive relationships. So you could cover up the bruises and build up self-esteem, or you could use it for job interviews and just you feel better about yourself. But we also started collecting, and we donate a lot to Be the Change, which is on Sundays, and they're more helping recovering addicts or people in need, and they go to abandoned warehouses and different places where people are heavily using, and they find like people in there, and they give them lunches. And I've been getting them because I travel a lot from hotels, and like you can get any of this stuff and donate it: shampoo, conditioner, bars of soap, like anything. Like, I mean, all of it can be used, honestly. Like, they collect, like, because they give out lunches, paper bags, plates, forks. And I mean, it's little stuff. Like, so when you're in that hotel and you're leaving, and like, grab that bar of soap, or you see that a maid, go say, hey, can I have a couple extras? When I went down to Florida last time, I told her what I was using them for. But I mean, and she like loaded me up, and it was like amazing, because a lot of people care, and a lot of people have been affected by it or know someone who is a victim of domestic abuse. And it's never good to hurt. And if you start seeing warning signs, say something to your friends. You know, like what happened with me is I ended up getting isolated. He triangulated me from my family. Like, he sat there and he'd make up stories, and then my parents didn't know what to believe, and then he had set me up, so he would wait until I was drunk, and they would unlock the front door and call my mom, and then my mom would come in and start screaming at me, and it was like I was drinking because he just beat me, and then my parents just had bruises all over me, and then they started to realize what was going on. But I got isolated, and then after a while, like, I was telling my friends, but I was still staying with them, and they were like, stop kind of listening, or they weren't stopping listening, they're all trying to support. But when you're calling and saying the same things and not getting out of the situation, some people don't understand, and they're like, what's wrong with her, why is she staying with this guy? But there's a lot of factors in it. Like, my problem is that I used to have multiple adult stores, and I had freedom. I used to do modeling, I used to be able to dance if I wanted, I made great money. He wouldn't let me do anything, and then I got shut down to where I could only have a small adult store, which I wasn't allowed to be in during work hours, because he didn't want me to know the level of cheating and what was going on from other girls in the club who knew me from prior to getting married to him. So I was isolated in that way, and then I was just home trapped in the apartment all the time, and I couldn't go out, I couldn't have friends. So I mean, I started losing weight, and then I started gaining weight because I was miserable and I was just trying to eat. And then I stopped talking to my friends. I stopped going out. My smile totally disappeared. He had beat me so bad. And then I wasn't able to go into work because he didn't want anyone to see that my arm was broken, that I had a black eye, that all this stuff was going on, because then everyone would know and say stuff about him. And it was just bad. And I mean, I lost all confidence, and I just don't want to ever see anyone have to go through that again. I mean, it was just awful. And I mean, now I look at it, and I got a very successful radio show. I got great friends. I love dancing. I always did. I love entertaining. I love performing. It makes me happy, and it's great money, and it's so much fun. I love my Tally Ho family. I love Playmates. When I was completely down and out, and he started using legal abuse, and he wouldn't give me any of my property or my money, and I didn't have a job because everything was linked around him. And then after years not working and only dancing at strip clubs, and they put on some weight, like, I had no confidence. And I found this middle of the nowhere strip club because I was trying to find one that he didn't know about and I knew he wouldn't go to. And I found Playmates, and Playmates was female owned by Kitty Shotzi, and she's a survivor of domestic abuse, and she's incredible too. And they helped build up my self-esteem. The girls were incredible. Ginger, Phoenix, all of them, Chevelle. They helped me out. They literally put a smile back on my face. The customers were incredible. They saw how shattered I was, and they helped put back the pieces. And I owe everyone so much. And I mean, that's what I do. And I'm so proud that last night that I put that bulletin board up. And so we're collecting pamphlets and brochures on all different stuff, like GED programs, college, babysitting, domestic abuse, STD tests, whatever, and we're putting it on the board. Drug alcohol rehabilitation programs. Be the Change is dropping off some brochures for us this week. Willow's mailing them. I got them from the Family Justice Center already. I got them from Gates to Recovery. I'm going to get them from Unity. I'm going to get the Volunteer Interlock, because you don't want to be drinking and driving. If you're an alcoholic, at least you can stop yourself by putting your car. You don't have to worry. You don't have to be mandated to have Interlock. And they're going to be on the boards, and you can just take them when you need them. And it's like a small step. It's baby steps, really, but everyone's really really proud, and all these girls who have danced for years or used to are like, this is amazing. We're so proud of you. And I'm just so glad to be able to do this. But we are WRFCLP Rochester, freeradio.com, 106.3. We are on every Thursday from 10 o'clock till midnight. We're going to cut in a song break and then shall return with some shenanigans and fun, exciting games. Welcome back, Beyond the Pole Radio, and I'm Katrina Lee, Katrinalee. You can find me on Facebook. I post public, so everyone can see my things. I'm pretty perverted, and I like a weird sense of humor, a lot of funny memes and stuff like that. And then my rehab page is Katrina Lee, and that's clean and filtered, and it's all like kind of domestic abuse and drugs and positivity and no like, naughty pictures, and it's kind of clean and well behaved. So I have an adult site. It's not porn, but when you put it in, it pops up and says porn star Katrina Lee. Probably because I work for Hustler, but the actually has a domain now. Katrina Lee was taken, so I had to use the Katrina Lee. So it's the KATRINALEE.com. And I'm adding a lot of pictures. I'm doing a lot of photo shoots. And there's tons of pictures. So all these people are like, I want to see you naked. Well, that's the way to do it. You can sign up. And I now have the Cash App. So if you send me an email and then Cash App me, I can send you some pictures too if you don't want to join the site because you're married and your wife's going to find out. Or, you don't want to pay the full. I think the first month's like $30. But there's so many photos. You'll be happy. And I'm going to keep adding and adding. So it's a good time. Lots of nudes, and you get to see the ones from Hustler. I was in so many Hustlers. It was crazy. I was in Hustler But Illegal, Hustler Real Girls of College series. I was in Hustler magazine itself, Hustler Taboo, Hustler Backborder Babes. Pretty much a Hustler contract model. I never actually did porn. There's no penises or anything in my mouth or in my hands, and I didn't really do any girl on girl. But I'm gonna start doing some double up girl modeling photos too, and we're gonna take some naughty pictures when we're down in Tampa. I'm with like a wild crew of girls who also do modeling, so it's gonna be a really good time. I can't wait. So Cash at me or join my site, the Katrina Lee, and I also have a Facebook page, like a modeling page, which says what clubs I'm working at when, and that's Katrina Lee also on Facebook. So I actually have my Facebook account, 2 of them. I have a Facebook page and I have a website, and there's a lot going on. Literally, I'm filming another TV series, which is called The Cigar Club, which is fabulous. So if you go on Facebook and you go to The Cigar Club and you scan down and you look at the trailer, you can see me in it. I'm there. I'm in the pink dress, and I'm having sex with a person, one of my Italian buddies, who's a character in the show, inside the bathroom stall. So you get to see my boob eventually when it actually goes on the air. So we're filming the strip club scenes, and I'm a madam, and I'm running it, and I set it up at Playmates, so it's going to be done this Sunday. And we're doing it there because it's the only strip club that isn't open on Sunday, and I knew that they would love it, so it's beneficial for everyone. So it's going to be a good time, and if you're a hot dancer and you want to get on board and join us, feel free, inbox me, or go to the Cigar Club. You can Facebook them, or go to Kingdom Crump, or you can go on Buffalo Film Extras, and you'll see that they post on a regular basis. So the series filming is coming end in February, so this is like the second last time you have a shot to get on it, and then you have to wait till it's out, and then I don't know what's going to happen, but it's been filmed in Chicago and in Buffalo. And then I'm filming again in a Moses movie, which is going to be done on Monday, and that's part of Western New York casting with Trez Johnson. He's Peter Johnson. He's a professor at Buff State. He's in a lot of movies. He's a SAG actor, like I'm a SAG actress, and part of the union. It's a non-union movie. It's unpaid, but you can see if you can get in it. If you want, you can email westernnewyorkcasting.com and see if you can get in there. And he's great. Send your picture and your phone number, and it's a shot to get in the door. He also does pretty much all the casting for the Lifetime movies that they do in Buffalo. I just did one with them called Scared Straight, and I have a featured role. I'm a waitress, and I'm like pretty much in every scene, and you get to definitely see me and my face multiple times in that. And once you start doing these things, you show up for some of the non-paid gigs, they start getting the paid gigs, and they know you show up, and they kind of throw as a favor for like, hey, I see you're always here, you're helping us out, so we're going to set you up, and they try and make sure you get screen time. So this is your chance, your opportunity to get on board. I'm having a blast. I made some great friends, Martin, and different people in the acting community. And it's a riot. John Purcell, he was in the cigar club with me, and we just we're great, unique characters. And Martin goes around. He was on our show, and he does all these arts and crafts things. And he goes and he's been on Law and Order, The Deuce, all different shows. And he always gives me a heads up, especially with female roles. He hooked me up with Annie Delano, and she's a casting director, and she's out in Utica, Syracuse. And that's how I got some more pictures. And they have a new movie coming out. So if you want to get on there too, go under Syracuse actors and extras, because there's a big hockey movie that they're going to start casting for in 2 weeks. Now, I know that we have a lot of Rochester listeners and Syracuse listeners, so it's really not that far, and this is your opportunity too to get into a movie that's going to be on the big screen. And I mean, you never know where you're going to land. You might be that person they're looking for. They might see you for another role. Like, I never thought William Fichtner was going to come up to me at Mother's and ask me to be in his movie. That's how it all started, and that's how I got on Colebrook. Then after that, I did The Escape from Dannemora. Then I did The Purge. Then I did Crown Vic. I did Clover, Clean Picture, Lifetime movies. I'm just kind of doing whatever pops up in the opportunities. It's amazing. And on my website, too, the Katrina Lee, I put some secret pictures that you don't get to see while I'm casting and filming. So I always tell everyone, be really respectful, say please, thank you, because it stands out. Like, I just smile a lot, and I have this energy, and everyone says I just kind of light up the room. And I'm not stuck up or vain, so, like, I'll go and I'll grab and pick up that bottle of water and reset instead of waiting for, like, the crew guy to do it. You know, it's little stuff that, you know, people remember. Just be happy, you know. And Oz was doing the city. I don't know what that's going on, and I don't think he's going to make it in today. He said he was running late from a meeting, but we're pretty much like kind of nearing the final rundown in the last hour of the show, so it's not a big deal. Oz got hired, and he used to do promotions, and he stopped, and he was doing the dad thing, behaving, and he was in a relationship for a while, and now he's single, and he's going back to what he used to do best, and that's club promoting at 1. He is now. And big club nights are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so I don't think he's going to be here as often if he is. It's going to be for short spans. So I'm looking for another co-host who can help me out, who can be in the studio every week. You don't have to be here every week, so if you need a call off or do a call-in, you can, like, because I'm not here every week, too. I do call-ins. And when I'm in Florida, Dawn's going to come in and cover for me. But it'd be great. It could be a guy or a girl. So hit me up on Facebook, or you can inbox the Beyond the Pole page. Both of them. We have Beyond the Pole Live and Beyond the Pole Radio. And send us some of your info. And we're going to have some guests coming in, and we'll figure out who's going to be here on a pretty permanent basis. A comedian, anyone would be ideal, because I can cover all the social work and all the better benefits of your life, because I try to make it life hab where it's ups, downs all around. So we're funny, but then we also have, you know, like some serious topics, and I like to keep it that way, you know. And we're a live, unscripted talk show. Nothing is really planned out. I just look for crazy articles throughout the week, and then I post them, and then we just kind of free for it. So that's the best part. Like, you don't know what we're gonna say. This isn't planned. But happy 97th birthday to Betty White. She is going strong. When I think of Betty White, it kind of tears me up a little bit, but I'm so, like, it's so amazing that she's got all her, like, life together. She's active. She's still acting. She's doing everything. She's great. Because my grandma was obsessed with the Golden Girls. So I grew up watching it. So I sit there and I'm like, oh, man, she'd be so excited. Because, like, I mean, Betty White's going to probably outlive everyone. It's amazing. Some of these people, even like Queen Elizabeth, you know, they go and go. They must have just wonderful lives or good genetics. I don't know. But I mean, my fear would be that I'd be old, and like my grandfather had Alzheimer's, and that's not, I don't want to be old with Alzheimer's. But if I'm active like Betty White, I don't mind living to 100. You know, I'm getting laid by young guys and stuff like that, going around laughing, enjoying life. Like, yeah, that sounds ideal. You know, the ultimate cougar, really. And she has no kids. We did this. I was watching on TV, and they had this question, and it was like a challenge. You had to guess like how many kids each like actor or someone had, and like I was pretty good. I kind of pegged it dead on. It was it's a good show. It was pretty funny. I enjoyed it. But lots going on this week. Katie Morgan and Evan Stone at New York Showgirls and Video Liquidators. We got Trinity Turner at Candy's in Erie, Pennsylvania. I'm going to be at Tally Ho pretty much all weekend. More day shift, a little bit into the night. And then Sunday night, I will be there. And I'm going to be dancing a lot before I go to Florida. I want some backup extra cash because you never know what's going to happen. I'm going with quite a savage group of girls. I myself am quite savage. And when I go on vacation, it's kind of free for all. But I have a feeling that I'm going to end up, what happens is when I go with other people, I end up becoming like the den mother. And I think I'm either responsible in not drinking because I'm going to be like petrified of what they're doing when they're drinking and more babysitting. But it's going to be fun. We're not driving anywhere, at least, so thank goodness for Uber. And it's always better when you have more people because you can scale it down and be cheap. So we had room for one more girl. We found plane tickets for $35 down to Tampa. It was insane. So we're all excited about it. And we found great deals on the hotels and everything. And then when you split it between like 4 girls, like we share a bed because then we can cuddle. And who knows, you had an alcohol, hot, sexy strippers. We're horny after work. You know, all of us pretty much like girls anyways. It's going to be good. Good times. So going with Cashmere and Mia. And I believe Velvet's going to actually join in the cruise. So yeah, everyone else is like, oh, wow, be prepared for chaos. So hopefully it's not, but I am ready. That's why I want the extra sucked up income just in case, and letting a couple people know so that if I'm like, please, can you send me some money? We're covered. But cash at me, sign up for my website. If you cash at me, I get the money right now, and I'll send you the pictures instead of having to wait for a month till I get it from the modeling site, and then I can use it as backup money for Florida. So that'd be really nice. I got some fun pictures, and I can take them on the spot if you request them and send them to you too. I never used to do this, and everyone kept asking me, and I realized how much every other dancer's doing and making, and I'm like, why am I not? I'm the one with all the professional pictures. I'm the one in all the adult magazines. I'm the one who's done this for years, so why not? So you can go on the website and see me and Hustler and different things. So, okay, I usually don't get political or in any topics, but this whole wall thing and the government shutdowns affecting a lot of people. A lot of people are without work, and I guess everyone's going to lose their food stamps. And I read this interesting article that they opened up, they found another tunnel underneath the ground, and it was transporting drugs, and it was in Arizona, like the third one in a week. So I was reading it, and I'm not talking about dealing with the immigrants or anything like that or the legal aliens. I'm not even touching that topic because someone asked me how I would resolve that, so I don't want to go there. But the wall isn't going to stop drugs. There are drones that fly drugs over. You can mail them from China and get fentanyl. People can mail them over, and they're digging tunnels, and they always have underneath to transport the drugs. So when I read the article saying Trump was saying that there's a problem with the drugs and going to stop it, that's not going to stop drugs. There's a will, there's a way, and people are going to get drugs if they have to make them themselves. Years ago, there was a dancer who I knew from Paradise who was super cute, loved her, and then she got really bad on the meth, and she blew up a trailer. She literally blew up a trailer, and then she goes to jail, and they give her a chance, and she gets out, and then she blew up like a small hotel from cooking meth in there, and she's under Meth Angels was the site, like .com, and it was just so shocking because she was like 19 years old, and I mean, you can make your own drugs. It comes down to it. As we talked about last week, kids, because they can't get drugs in Indonesia, are taking tampons and they're boiling them in maxi pads because there's a gel in them, and then they're drinking the fluid, and when they can't get the maxi pads, they're using ones that are bloody and boiling it, which is disgusting, and we posted that on our page. I mean, I know people who will take Cepacol that like kind of numbs your throat. You're only supposed to take one every 4 hours when you have like a serious like strep throat or your throat's really sore. I used it because I had food poisoning last week, and like I literally like vomited for 36 hours. My throat was so bad. And they'll take like 4 or 5 of them, grind them up and snort them. And they're like, you can't feel your face. And I'm like, wow. And I just tell my mom that. She's like, I like feeling my face. I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes it's fun, that numb feeling, but I don't suggest it to anyone. But kids, like, they are testing and finding the strangest things and getting their hands on it, which is pretty scary. I posted another article that's going on that they're showing that the most overdoses and takeovers in Ohio are fentanyl-laced cocaine. It's no longer fentanyl heroin, it's cocaine with it. And we're having a lot of problems upstream in this area. We are on the 90s drug trail, and it trails from Detroit up through Cleveland and shoots into Erie, Pennsylvania, to Buffalo, to Rochester. So we have been getting bad batches with cocaine with fentanyl, and a lot of people die at once. Like, literally, like, don't mix that. And then people just cut it, and like I know like several people who died, and when it happens it'll be like 13, 14 deaths like in a small area that all leads back to it. So I mean, really, stay off drugs. Like, It's not a good thing. I love weed. I loved it. I can't smoke it right now because when I drove down to Florida, I got a pot ticket. So I'm smart and I know what they wanted in court. So I stopped smoking right away. So I haven't smoked since October 7th. And I put myself in outpatient rehab. So when I go to court on February 13th, I'd be like, I'm already this many months sober. And I take it seriously because the devil's lettuce is evil. We just destroyed my life. No, not really. I think they'll just be happy, and I hopefully won't have to go back down to Virginia because I hated that area. It's in the middle of nowhere. I can't fly down. The closest airport's 2.5 hours away in Bristol, so you pretty much have to drive, and I'm never going on a Greyhound bus again. And this town has nothing there, and everything's shut down, and there's no Uber, and it's just a miserable place to be. So I think I'm going to shoot down there, drive, and then go to, like, maybe Disney World for Valentine's Day and sit there, and hopefully I can start misbehaving or something, drink and just write It's a Small World over and over. Happy Valentine's Day to me. But yeah, lots going on. We're gonna set up the prison show, get it going, and the shout outs. There's gonna be more dancer shout outs. I'm gonna be all around the clubs. I'm gonna get a lot of girls from Tally Ho to like say some messages or whatever they want. Like come visit me these days. And I'm gonna be at Playmates, and I'm gonna be popping in to see Katie Morgan on Friday. And I talked to her, and she is gonna do with Evan Stone also a quick little interview, which is gonna be pretty cool. So I'm gonna throw them on the radio next week, Thursday, which is gonna be awesome. And Trini Turner has already been on her show, but my friend Joe, who helps sell Close Down Erie's going to go over and get a quick little same recording with the message and throw it on. It's a lot easier to get these recordings anytime we want by just going to the clubs and putting on the phone and just playing them online, because Thursday's a good money night for dancers, and our show's kind of late, so almost everyone's already in the club, so I understand. But I'm going to be down in Florida. I'm going to be at Deja Vu, and my friend Amber works there, so I'm excited I get to see her. I used to work with her at Playmates, and then she moved, and I miss her, and I have so much fun with her. So it's gonna be a really fun girls trip of hot strippers, nudity. I'm sure there's gonna be some oral pleasure and lots of pictures. So Cash App us. All of us are on the Cash App. Pretty much every stripper out there is, and probably every drug dealer too. It's the best way to filter money without getting caught. It's better than the Square Up app, and it's pretty good. So we're gonna do a quick song break. Then we're gonna talk about some more things, and then slowly cut out for the night. Thank you for listening to Beyond the Pole with Katrina Lee every Thursday, 10 o'clock till midnight. And you can watch us, or not watch, like you can listen on YouTube. We're Beyond the Pole with Katrina Lee on YouTube. We had on the show shortly after we lost some in the transfer from our old producer who wasn't uploading them, which is sad because we lost a Jenna Hayes show, which is one of the biggest and best ones we've ever had. But it is what it is. Welcome back, Beyond the Pole with Katrina Lee. So, actually, we played Pete Townsend, Let My Love Open the Door, a song I dance to actually on a pretty regular basis, one of my favorites. And speaking of that, The Who is coming to town, and my parents are absolutely delighted. I saw Roger Daltrey with The Who's Pinball Wizard at CMAC last year, and it's great. And then the encore, they did a lot of The Who songs. But, I mean, it's got Pete in that. And my dad was probably like a kindergartner, like going to Disney World for the first time with Joy. The tickets I don't even think are on sale yet, and he went and he joined the fan club so that he could get tickets, and he's like in the third row and like super ecstatic and paid a lot of money to do this. He's like, probably we'll never see him together again before he passes, especially in this area. It's been a long time, and it's like shocking they're together. They asked me if I wanted to go, but I was like, I just saw him. It's not a big deal. But I'm looking forward to Fleetwood Mac. I got those tickets like a year and a half ago. It's been a long time, and it's not far away. I love Stevie Nicks, one of my all-time favorite, and I love like Sarah, Gypsy, like The White Witch. I like get so excited on American Horror Story when it was on Coven, and the last season was just incredible. And speaking of American Horror Story, I got from my friend Joe, who was my friend from Erie, Pennsylvania, who helps sell clothes. He gave me Cult, the American Horror Story, and I didn't buy it because I have the other ones, but I didn't like Cult as a season that much, and I just kind of stopped buying DVDs because it's kind of wasted media now that you got Netflix and everything covers it and Portal. But I started watching it again the other night. and it like reminded me it was all about the election and Trump, and they were talking about building the wall then on it. So I thought this wall, because I don't really pay attention to politics there again more recently, but where there's a will, there's a way. So even like if we spend all this money on building the wall, someone else can take presidency, and their probably whole campaign will be knock down the wall. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I just want to see people getting money, and I would like to make sure that our food is getting, USDA checked and approved. Like, I mean, look what happened with that whole romaine lettuce, and it was all pulled off the walls. And I mean, no one's inspecting our stuff. Like, it's kind of scary right now. And FBI agents aren't working, and everything's getting cut down. It's hurting a lot of working families. And they're going a month plus now without any income, and there's only so long before you start hurting. And I listened on the radio, and someone said their kid asked if they were poor because they were eating soup for dinner. And it's tight and it's hard, and not everyone's organized with money, especially if you're younger and you just started a job or you got divorced, you got kids. Like, it's crazy. So eventually, hopefully they'll figure out a resolution, or until they can like let the government not be shut down, and before they have to declare a state of emergency. So I don't know, crazy. We're supposed to get a big storm this weekend, so hopefully it doesn't interfere with filming at Playmates, because I'm looking forward to it. And I can't really reschedule and do next week because I will be in Florida. Yay, Florida. I'm excited. So yeah, Katie Morgan, New York Showgirls, and Candies has Trini Turner, and I'm at Tally Ho. So I will be there Friday day shift. I will be there Saturday day shift, and then Sunday evening after I film. So I probably won't get there until 8 o'clock on Sunday, maybe 8:30, because we're supposed to film to like 6:30. And I added a bunch of new products into my store, which I have adult store inside Playmates, the Cats Me Out Playmates. And we have the positive awareness board up, and I got more pamphlets and brochures to hang up. So I'm like super excited because it went really smooth and everyone on board. So next I'm going to concentrate on going to the Buffalo clubs and getting them up there, or getting another dancer who works on a regular basis to pop in and do it. So it's something that helps everyone. And I mean, if all the clubs did this, because it's something so easy, you get a bulletin board for $10 and just throw up some brochures and pamphlets like that people can take. Like, I mean, come on, why not? You have the dressing rooms, you have the hallways where the girls go out to smoke. It just kind of like makes the world a better place little by little for a damaged population of creative people. So lots going on. I am like thinking on how to pack for Florida and what I'm going to need. And I'm going to be at a full nude club. It's going to be Deja Vu. I worked there before. I loved it. My friend Amber said it's slow right now and it's not the best in season. So I have a couple backup plans also in case my friends don't do well. I have customers down there that I know from this area who moved to Florida who are going to come see me anyway. So I know I'm set, but I need to make sure they make money or else they're going to be miserable and then drink heavy or something, and God knows what will happen, or, like want to go elsewhere, and then I'll have to leave and go elsewhere. So there's this club in St. Pete, and it's near where we're going to be staying, one of the resorts, and it's not far. It's called Mermaids, but when I was there, it was real off-season, the wrong time, and the locals called it Manatees because the girls that worked there were, like, really fat and heavy, and they were rough, but the club looked beautiful, and we're cute, so, I mean, we could get all the money as new girls compared to those girls if it comes down to it. So I inbox them on Facebook, and because I work for Hustler, I have the radio show, and I'm established with the website and everything, I can pretty much walk into any strip club there is, and then, therefore, if I bring girls who don't act crazy, they can go in too. While other times, like, you have to audition, it's this whole process and production and blah blah blah. So filming 2 shows. I'm doing the Cigar Club on Sunday, and then I'm doing the Moses movie, which is gonna be on Monday. So that's kind of cool. So more stuff. You can see me. They'll be on Netflix, Hulu, all different avenues. Some TV, some HBO, some on the big screen. Coldbrook was featured, and they did it at Woodstock, and it won some awards. And then I didn't realize what was going on because I can't keep up with everything on Facebook, and no one told me, because my one friend Martin, who does a lot of movies with me, he didn't do Coldbrook. And so I missed the premiere of it in Buffalo when William Fichtner is in town. So I have not seen it yet to see if I'm in it. But I was right behind all the main characters in the gala scene, so I'm almost positive I am. And he came up and he hugged me during when they were like grabbing the crowd and reaching everyone when they left and celebrating the award they won in the TV or in the movie, not actually in person, but yeah, it was in person too. And so I should actually be on there. You can see my face. I just don't know because I didn't even see the movie myself. But it's got a really good star cast, so I don't know what's going on and how long it takes to get into the theater or even the art theaters, like, or Netflix, anything. I don't know. It's not like that Bird Box that like exploded and like 15 million people saw it, and then Netflix is now saying you can't share accounts and they're trying to crack down on it and all that. But I think it's pretty hard to go about that. So it's hard to tell really the level of listeners or viewers because this station could be playing in a kitchen in a restaurant right now and like 20 people could be listening at once, but it's going to look like one person or is listening. And it's the same with these movies. Like you can't tell. They're saying 15 million accounts logged on. Who knows how many people actually watched it? So I have not seen it because as everyone was saying they were seeing it, I decided I didn't want to be part of the copy everyone in crowd, and I'd rather rebel. So eventually I'll get to it, but I work a lot, and when it comes down to it, I'd rather, it sounds terrible, but I'm like kind of living the single life having fun. I would rather be in a strip club and making a lot of money instead of sitting home watching TV. So why would I sit home on a Sunday night when I can go make $300 to $500 or more depending on what's going on? So, I mean, you know, then I can get myself like pretty shoes and purses, save money, invest into my future. Not college education because I've already been there, done that, and I'm quite successful. But I'm working towards another house. I think I want to get a tiny house, a couple of them. I could put one in Rochester, one in Buffalo, and just kind of travel around. And then I could rent them or do like Airbnb and make it cute, like a little gnome village or something. That'd be really cool. I've always liked them before they were the in thing. I always wanted to live in like this cute little log cabin in the woods and have everyone like leave me alone and relax. And I love reading. I'm so excited. I actually just got the book You. And I fell in love with it on Lifetime. Like, I literally caught it the one day after, what was I watching? I don't know. It was a show that I forgot. It was a Bad Seed actually. It was specifically, but it was a remake of the Bad Seed. And my mom used to say I was that girl when I was younger in the black and white one. So I was watching it. It came on right after. I was like, wow. And it was about this guy, and he stalks this girl, and then I can't ruin it, but it was like shows like how he's found with the cloud and the cell phone, and I like was just enamored. And now all these people are watching it because it's on Netflix, and they're saying, oh my gosh, it's so good. So I ordered the book. And I ordered it off eBay, and it came by sea, and it took 5 weeks to come. So I should have just paid full price and went to like Walden Books, or not Walden Books, like Barnes and Noble. Walden Books, that dates me. Years ago, Walden Books used to be in all the mall. It was a big thing, and that was one of my first jobs as a kid. And I used to work there, but I made like very little money. I worked 4 hours a week, and my mom literally wanted me to stay there for the discount. So you got 33% off. My mom was a big reader, and she's like, "No, you keep that job." And I'm like, "This is stupid. I make $5.50 an hour, and I work 4 hours a week, and I'm driving 20 minutes to get here and back." But lots of great movies and different things out, and I can't wait. I need a break. I'm looking forward to Florida. I need some good girl time. I've been having lots of great times with girls. I need to see one of my best friends. We're going out all around the town on Saturday, and we love trying new restaurants and just doing different things. So I think I'm going to check out Trio in Rochester. I saw this shrimp and grits, and it looks like amazing. And eventually I'd just like to start doing a restaurant review of the week too on this show. And some different things because I have a food blog and I like taking pictures of food and posting it. So like me on Facebook. My name's Katrina Lee. You can join my naughty adult site, thekatrinalee.com. You can join the rehab site, my account. That's Katrina Lee Lee. It's got me with the Gates Recovery van. The other one I have a new picture with Dan Olek on is pretty obvious. I'm blonde and I have a lot of friends on there and you can pick me out. There's other Katrina Lees, but I have a bigger following, and then I'm wearing like a sequin holography type top, which is pretty cool. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And speaking of what happened, R.I.P. Danielle Morse. It was a murder-suicide, and I literally was not that long ago talking about what happened to me. I had the housemate who I started talking about you was just like you. He gave me a phone right during my divorce, came off like this hero, like he was going to help me and save my life and do all this stuff, and he kept coming back. So he used the phone, and then I switched it over, and I was in his cloud. So he stalked me, and I had 2 different relationships at the time, and he showed up in Canandaigua at the one and was all frantic, and I'm like, what are you doing? doing? I'm not with you. And he was like, hi. And his eyes were like completely dilated, his pupils, and they were blacked out. And it was really creepy, and I didn't understand what he was doing. And multiple times he would fight with me, and I realized he was stalking me by the phone. And then it continued on. So when I started seeing the other guy, Ron, he showed up at his boat, and he popped up there in Buffalo area. And then he came by his house, and he slashed my tires. And then when he saw my car, he's like, oh, I saw there's something on your tire. And I'm like I knew it was him. Like, he was testing it. He tried to came out like he was going to help me and fix my tire, and he kept doing weird manipulative things. I didn't understand what was going on, and I felt bad for him, and he just kept coming back, so I didn't piece it together because I never saw you, and I didn't realize people do stuff like this. So eventually I had this big house, and I wanted a housemate, and he had a good job, and he made money, so I figured, okay, and he wanted to rent a room, and I'm like, you understand, I'm never ever going to be with you, nothing intimate was going on. I never did, and it wouldn't. And I'm like, you're just not my type. And he lied to me. He used to lie about the stupidest things and just make up all these stories. And it turned out then he fell in love with me. Of course, he already was. I didn't realize it. And when I was dating the other guy, that's when he got strange. And he got real weird for like 5 days prior to it. That was really noticeable. Like, he brought this girl home who he was texting me and saying, like, I need help. She's in a domestic abuse relationship. She's on drugs. She's going to overdose. And I had a person, and he knows I can't stand that. And I'm like, you brought my work home into my house. When I sit there and I Narcan people and I work on the opioid task force, so the one thing that I said never, ever to do. And so it scared me, and I didn't know if stealing was going on in my house. He started eating a lot of ice cream. He started getting really creepy, playing music. He started going through Alexa and playing music when I wasn't there. He was going through the app, or I was there and he wasn't home. So I thought I was like losing my mind because it was like just going off and playing weird things like Good Morning Vietnam. Getting stalkery. Then he started putting on a lot of weight really rapid. And then I started catching some signs, and I didn't know what was going to go on. But when I got home, he was acting strange, and I was just ignoring him because I was sick and tired of him. I told he had to move out, and he was really creeping me out because he didn't back off. And he actually ate a whole bunch of pills, like 500 pills or something, and he overdosed. And I had a weird feeling when I got out of the shower because I was going out to an event. Actually, I was going to Monty Python, and it was at the Kodak Theater. So I go running in, and I'm like, he needed to move his car, and I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like knocking on the door, he's not answering, and then there's like something heavy on the door, so I end up like kicking, pretty much pushing the door down, and then I get there, and he was completely like out of it. Like, he was literally purple and blue in the face. He had vomit all over his face. It was disgusting. And so I tried Narcan him, and it didn't work. And then I had to CPR him, and I brought him back to life. And I didn't realize at the time before this happened that he had actually planned to kill me with him, and he poisoned the food that was in the fridge. So then when the police came and they read notes that he planned to do a murder-suicide so I would die with them, I just happened not to came home that day. I stayed with my boyfriend at the time out in Buffalo. And when I came back to Rochester, he was waiting, and it was too late. Like, he thought I would eat the lobster roll, which thank God I didn't, because I was smoking marijuana, and I ate a whole bag of firecracker Oreos because they're really good with like Pop Rocks, instead of eating the lobster. So Oreos and marijuana saved my life. Which is just incredible. But he planned the whole murder-suicide. I saw the thing, and thank God nothing like that happened to what this girl did, because hers was more a domestic abusive relationship. This was just a weird guy, but it just hit close to home because I'm a domestic abuse survivor, and I survived that. And it's just scary. So he has a restraining order. He's not allowed anywhere near me, obviously, after what happened. And when it was like a sexual deviant, there were like condoms all over the place that were like open and they weren't used, and weird like butt plugs, all that stuff. Like, I was never going in his room because I respect his privacy as a person who was renting it, and that was like personal space. So I was like really shocked about the whole ordeal. And then later on, he sent me a letter saying thank you for saving my life. And so I told him I'd meet up with him because he wanted to give me a gift or something. And I thought like, okay, that's fair, and like in a safe zone. So I'm at my parents' house, and my parents knew, and his eyes were black again. And this happened October 28th. He got really really strange, and he jumped at me and he tried to choke me again until I like blacked out. I had to fight for my life. I had to punch him over and over, and like to get him off me, my mom and dad came like running out. The police had to come. Like, it was insane. So he's absolutely not allowed near me. And then his whole thing was like, I love you, I need you, the creepiest messages. And he was like, I don't understand. And then he kept telling me, I don't remember, I just black out. And it's really scary. His name's Ryan, and the thing is that he has like hundreds of dancers on his page and all these girls who don't know him, and he makes up all these stories. So I mean, you got to be careful who you meet and what goes on. If some guy is over the top trying to help you save your life and like, I'll get you a phone, I'll do this and that, and show up, and you start noticing when you're doing better, and then like he trips you up. Like, they're called vultures, and they look for women who are weak and they target them, and when you don't need them anymore, they try to put you in a bad situation because they get a high off of helping you. So I mean, pay attention to warning signs, pay attention to red flags, pay attention to see if something like this is happening to one of your girlfriends or even guy friends. Domestic abuse can happen to anyone. It's really scary. And I'm Katrina Lee. Thank you for tuning in Beyond the Pole. Check us out next week. We're going to have a great show and more inmate calls and lots of shout outs from different girls and different clubs. And I can't wait. Florida's coming. Thank you. Have a great night, everyone.